Okay, IEW, structure and style. The benefit of IEW was fix-it grammar. I still love this book. I would highly recommend this if your child is into any Well, hey there, and welcome back to Shine Bright Homeschool. I'm so glad to see you here today because it's been a while since I posted a video. We just got done with our school year in the middle of May, and I really just had to take some time off, and then we went on vacation for about a week and just had a break. So I've just been taking the last week to basically get back into the swing of things here at home and kind of incorporate a little bit of more routine in our daily life. So we're trying to incorporate some summer fun with our homeschool friends and make sure that we still stay very active and just really enjoy having a break from school. So that being said, I am here today to share with you an end of the year review for 7th grade. I'm just going to do a quick touch on everything we did for 7th grade, what my opinion is on these curriculums now that we've completed them. And if you haven't watched my mid-year review, I did that around December, right before we went on Christmas break. That can kind of give you an idea of where we were at that point in time. But this is more of the complete review of what I did for 7th grade and how I liked things and how my son did or didn't like things. And there were some things that I actually didn't like too, but we got through it. We did our best. You jump into every year and just have to make more adjustments because your child's changing with every year and you're changing. Maybe you have different opinions or different viewpoints about what works for you as the homeschool teacher. So I'm just going to dive into these books today and let you know what I think. We're going to start out with one of our most favorite subjects, which is science. I don't have the other 3 books that I did for science. Again, if you've watched my channel, you've probably already seen them. I did 3 unit studies for science with the good and the beautiful. I did a kingdoms and classifications unit study. I also did a health in the human mind. And then I also did one for like a basic biology. Now, I put those books away. I think they might already be upstairs in my attic right now because I was trying to reorganize some stuff and I think I put them away. So if you want to look at those videos, I'm going to have them linked in the description below or above. Make sure you look or just glance on my channel. They're really easy to find. Before I get into this one, I did want to say that the unit studies for the good and the beautiful are really good. For those who are new to my channel, I only have one student. He just finished 7th grade. He doesn't have anyone else to really do classes with. So the good and the beautiful I think is good when you have children from multiple ages. They also have a good selection of projects or experiments in there. But for my son, he isn't into doing things just with me. He would want to do those things with other students, right? And I think the good and beautiful, I loved the colors, the vibrancy of everything. You know, there really wasn't a clear teacher's guide the way I wanted, the way I'm used to having it, more of a traditional style. But the content in each book is really great. And a lot of it's more self-explanatory, so it's not hard-lined on the quizzing and the testing or anything like that. They don't really focus on that. They focus on more of doing things as a group, listening to the concepts and talking about them, or doing something hands-on. And I like that. I think it's really great. If I would have started him doing that back when he was younger, it probably would have been a lot better. I think the good and beautiful is really great for multi-grade teaching and doing things together. So I have a review on each of those. Make sure you look at those. I also do the look inside so you can kind of see what's in them. That way you know what you're getting and make your own decision if it's something that you want to look into or not. So this was the science that we started in January. If you watch the video for this, where I do the whole look through, we had already done, I want to say 1 to 2 chapters of this back in 6th grade. And I stopped it because I felt like he wasn't quite getting certain concepts yet. So I decided to wait. And I'm glad I did because he got a lot more in 7th grade out of this book. If your child is really awesome in science, maybe 6th grade would be great for it. But if you've done any of MasterBooks science, they do have such a variety of things in here to use, whether it's the worksheets, the review sheets. There's so many experiments you can do in here too that's why I think it is such a great option. Definitely make sure you check out this video. Again, I'll have it in the description or linked above. Okay, IEW, structure and style. I love certain concepts for writing and composition from structure and style. I cannot say anything bad because I love the foundation, I love the heart behind it, but we just started with this in 7th grade. I will warn you that it might be challenging if you do that. If you start it when your kids are young and they're already used to this formatting, then it may be very easy for them. My child does not care for writing or composition. It was never my strong suit either. Now, if I would have taken this when I was younger, because I was homeschooled, for those of you who don't know, I was homeschooled kindergarten through 12th grade. If I would have had this, I probably would have been a better writer. But my brain thinks differently than my son. My son is more of an engineering, what do they call it, kinesthetic learner. So he learns differently, and this was not really that helpful. Now, I do think some of the writing was a little bit easier for him. We did buy the videos for streaming online, so we watched the videos, but it is a lot of content. I did a review on this already on my channel. I'm gonna link it below. There's so much in here. There's so much content that this curriculum gives. There's so many opportunities for growth. And I really like that there's the opportunities for growth. However, I'll be honest with you, we didn't even finish all the weeks because 1 week would take us 2 weeks. This is like pretty hardcore to me on the level of work, at least at this stage. If your child is not into writing, you'll be pushing them if you're wanting to complete it all. There were some concepts I just couldn't seem to get him to be interested in or excited about. I will say that Andrew Pudua is an amazing teacher, and I'm very thankful that we tried this because it could have been a really awesome thing, but it just wasn't quite the right fit for us. I just knew that I had enough at the end of the year where we were so burnt out at that point. When you're having to really help your child and basically almost tell them what to write because they're just done. Like they have nothing left to give. I would be interested to hear from any of you if you've done this, what your viewpoint is. I know it definitely depends on the child and your personality and your giftings as a teacher. If you want to try it out, look it up online and listen to other people's reviews. I will say the benefit of IEW was Fix-It Grammar. We used to do a Becca for language and for grammar. Not initially, but I did see a change in my son when it came to doing grammar with Fix-It Grammar. It wasn't overwhelming. The work every day was about repetitively working on those concepts, but not making the workload huge. And he seemed to get more out of Fix-It Grammar. Although structure and style wasn't really our thing, the Fix-It Grammar I would definitely recommend. We didn't even use it to the maximum. They have so much in this curriculum. You can use it as far as you want to go. They can really give you an opportunity for growth. We just did the basic stuff. I wanted to test him to see how consistent he was in understanding concepts. This was a positive experience for us. So I highly recommend Fix-It Grammar. Again, I did a video on this. Check it out in the description. And we're moving on to the next book. Next is the vocabulary workbook for 7th grade. This I got off Amazon. You can see the video I did on this. It was really simple, a very small workload. It might not be as much as some parents may want for their kids, but you can always add to it or use this as an additional workload on top of like a grammar or other language curriculum if you want. Make sure you look at this on my channel as well for a deeper look because I really like this. I feel like it was worth the money. I can't remember off the top of my head how much it was right now, but okay, next was spelling workout. My son has fought me tooth and nail with this book all year long. And honestly, I don't know why. I know some spelling curriculums out there that are intense, making you write over and over again. The thing about this book is that it actually is a lot of different things involving spelling. So we didn't do every single activity in this book. Some was a little too simple for him, or some parts that were a little bit confusing. Please make sure you look at my video on this book because when I reviewed this, I show you what's inside. But they talk about a lot of different things. They talk about Greek and Latin roots a little bit. They touch on antonyms and synonyms and suffixes, prefixes, root words, how to proofread, dictionary skills, like how to understand how things are written in the dictionary. They do have tests They do have a lot of vocabulary actually is in this book. Honestly, I mean, you wouldn't really necessarily need a vocabulary book. You could do a lot more of the vocabulary in here. As a teacher, for the money, if you don't want to spend tons of money, I really like this book. It also has a teacher's book as well that you'd have to buy separately or together. I don't know if they're in a set, I can't remember, but I really like this. My son, I think there was a mental block because it really was not hard for 7th grade work. I mean, a lot of it was very, very simple. He reads books that are harder than this. So I think there was just a huge mental block like every single time we would go to do it. But I still highly recommend it. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Definitely look it up because I really like the flow of it. So as a teacher, if you're seeking out spelling book that has a little bit of everything, vocabulary and prefixes and roots and suffixes and whatever, definitely look this up. So for history, we did MasterBooks World Story 2. We did last year World Story 1, which if you pay attention to a video that I have coming up in the next couple weeks, I have an interesting story about World Story 1. But anyways, we decided to do this and we really enjoyed this book. This is to the fall of Rome to the Renaissance. I really thought it was just overall had a bunch of great content. We love MasterBooks history. Some people don't like the reading load. I do review this. I do have a video on this one, so make sure you check that one out. But we both really enjoyed this. The content and what it covered, it was just really great. So I highly recommend it. We also did a geography with MasterBooks, which I also have upstairs in the attic. It was exploring Europe more in the medieval times. Highly recommend that. Make sure you check out the video on that because it was a great book. It had just came out. I think it was pretty new. And we did it because we had done geography with MasterBooks the past 2 years. Also have those videos on my channel. Make sure you check them out. But I've always loved MasterBooks and their geography. So this one we did for 7th grade that I felt like was really great with the medieval, more European focus for a little bit older students, and it was great. I loved it. So make sure you check that one out. Then the last part of history that we did this year was the US Constitution and Government book by The Good and the Beautiful. Again, this supposedly covers multiple grades, so this would be grades 4 through 8. In my video where I review this, you can really look more in depth about what it covers, and it covers a lot. If your child or your children, if they don't have a desire for law or history, it would be very hard probably to get them interested in these books. Now, there was a lot of reading that I had to do for my son. Some of it was a little bit hard for me to follow, I think because there wasn't a teacher's guide. There wasn't anything for me to kind of know from my own point of view, and it had been a very long time since I had touched on anything government in school. And I don't even know how much I really picked up on. I learned with Rebecca, so I remember memorizing a lot, like the preamble to the Constitution, the Emancipation Proclamation, but I didn't learn the depth of what this book has to offer. This book breaking down a lot of historical figures. You're breaking down the meaning of the articles in the Constitution, the different sections, what they mean, and it's kind of hard to explain that to a child who doesn't understand government. Let's be honest, most of us don't understand a lot of things of the government and how it operates. Even if we know the basic stuff, it can be kind of weird. So if your child is not showing a real interest in political knowledge or understanding or government or historical type things, I personally think anything under 7th grade would be extremely difficult or boring for children. At least the children that I know personally. I can't say that it would be easy to understand, but I will say that this book gave me the opportunity to explain a lot about how our government initially was made, the changes that have happened over the years, and what it is now, and how far some things have changed. Now that my son is 13, he's starting to hear bits and pieces about things and see things on his own that can really kind of start to give him an idea of what was originally supposed to be X, Y, and Z, and now it's not. Now I'm going to keep this for reference, because it is still a great reminder of a lot of different points about our government, why it was made a certain way. And what I do like is online they have little videos that are actually audio clips, that are like anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes long about certain people that they highlight in this book. And it's kind of nice because it's really done well and interesting, where the kids can kind of listen in and you can listen in as the teacher and then talk more about that person, whether it was Benjamin Franklin, Harriet Tubman, or whoever. They really do a great job about explaining about these people, and they really also bring everything back to a biblical understanding of where people have stood on things. It's definitely a great thing that I would suggest for definitely 7th and 8th grade. I will say that you are a brave teacher if you try to do it younger than that. That's all I'm going to say. So lastly is Zeta from Matthew C. Oh goodness. I can't say it was too hard. I will say that for me and my son, not being strong in math, that they keep it simple and they keep it a lot of repetitive work. I mean, it's a thick workbook. There's a lot of what they call systematic review. So there's a lot of questions that are a lot like each other, and they go through them and they go through them and they go through them. And I believe in all that. But my son and I think, needed a lot more when it came to the visualization part. We had the online videos and actually a hard copy DVD as well. We just needed a little bit more at times. And it wasn't because the problems were necessarily hard. I think it's just for the two of us, we needed that visual repetition. We didn't need a 5-minute video. Some people can watch just one 5-minute video of 2 problems and ace it and have no issue. We just weren't like that. And it's not that any of the problems were super hard. Like when we'd watch them in the video, it'd be like, oh yeah, we got it. But then we go on to do other problems and we would kind of hit a wall. I will say that the other thing that helped was the instruction manual for teachers. So they do have some of the lessons in here where they walk out some of the problems or a problem or 2. But they also have really good answer keys. That is one thing I am so thankful for, is the answer keys are really written out for the most part. They give you the step-by-step explanations, which was huge for when we were having a problem. We were like, okay, can we see an example of this problem so we understand? And that was really the saving thing that helped us. There were just some concepts, more of the algebra side of things, and a few other things that were a struggle. And I think it's because we've tried multiple kinds of maths the last few years, so there hasn't been a consistency. If you start with Matthew C when they are young, they are used to Matthew C and they're really decent at math, I think Matthew C can be a good thing, at least for a while. I can't say for the upper grades because I don't know. What really is good is that you can click on the link in the description, click on my, reviews, and look deeper into it and see what you think. But we will be changing maths again for 8th grade. And I am hoping and praying that what we do in 8th grade is going to truly lay the foundation for high school. There's a few different maths that I'm going to be looking into in the next month or 2, and they're going to be online. It will not be teaching textbooks. We've done that. It will be something where there's a lot more in-depth learning and maybe even an interactive help online, because I and him both really need to be on the same page, really need to be able to watch or interact with someone and be able to have a lot of examples or a lot more explanation, or where we can get in touch with somebody and get more help. Again, I can't say no to Matthew C because I think for us it was okay. I just didn't see the growth. I kind of saw us flatline, where I'm still kind of concerned about certain concepts. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. If you are new, make sure you subscribe. And if this video is helpful, click a like, leave me a comment, and I hope you're having a great summer so far. Make sure that you check out my videos coming up, because in the next few weeks, I will be sharing a big surprise for our 8th grade. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. I will be doing a look inside for all these 8th grade books and more that I have coming. But I hope you stay tuned and make sure that you click that bell for notifications notifications so you know when my next video drops. Hopefully it'll be in the next couple weeks. If you're taking a break off school for the summer, I hope you and your families really enjoy it. If you're trudging along and doing some schoolwork here and there, I just hope it really goes well for you and that you make lots of progress. Just make sure to take a break, soak in the sunshine, make sure you shine bright until I see you again.